today's watch list. For a long time, drive-in theaters seemed like a relic from the past, a slice of Americana slowly going extinct. But recently, there's been a resurgence. Hattie Dijamal looks at a new documentary about family-owned drive-ins across the country as they struggle to survive.
When the pandemic hit, drive-in movie theaters came roaring back, largely because they almost made social distancing fun.
It got a lot more awareness so that people knew drive-ins were still out there, but there were about 305 drive-ins.
So April Wright, director of the feature film Back to the Drive-In, shines a light on the inner workings of a true American institution, the drive-in.
It's just one of those things that just makes you feel really good, like you are actually doing something good in the community.
Let's start with the history of drive-ins.
The very first drive-in opened in Camden, New Jersey in 1933.
By World War II, there were about 100.
After World War II is when we saw the huge bump. And you have to remember, this is before television.
The baby boom and suburban sprawl meant people needed more ways to be entertained.
So you go from like 1942 to 1948, and you get up to almost 5,000 drive-ins.
And between the 40s and 80s,
there's about 40 good years where there's a lot of drive-ins, like thousands of drive-ins.
I think drive-ins have a bright future, but we just have to find our place.
Next, the comeback of drive-ins.
I've got two great kids. They've worked it since they were 5 years old, and they're in their 40s now.
They're all family-owned, and I just wanted to show how hard they work to keep these places going.
The documentary follows her travels across the country.
I drove to Texas, up to Nebraska, through the Midwest, out to Cape Cod.
And she heard a lot of the owners struggling with the same issues.
Staffing has been extremely difficult.
It's teaching a lot of people how to use a drive-in. So there's a lot of young kids who have never been to the drive-in.
But that only encourages them because
so many of them feel vested in keeping them going because they understand their role in that community.
Finally, the future of drive-ins.
People feel a lot more uncertainty about that whole theatrical experience.
Streaming and day-and-date releases have the studios rethinking their strategies.
That's the thing that's made some owners decide that it's time for them to get out of the business.
But younger owners are stepping in and revitalizing the experience.
Because drive-ins are unique and they really do provide a total entertainment experience.
You can catch Back to the Drive-In on digital platforms. Going old school, we're driving to the drive-in.